welcome back to the Black Cinematic Universe podcast. What's going on, James? What's happening, man?
What podcast we listening to?
Oh my God, it is 2026, man. I know it's been a while, man. I'm a little rusty. I'm pulling back from the past, and now I've got to get myself into the future. We have rebranded. We got some exciting changes to come. Same group, same Bat channel, same Bat family, but we will be rebranding this year. Some exciting new stuff, new logo, new name. If you haven't seen already, we are no longer the Black Cinematic Universe. We will henceforth be known as the Real Kings Podcast.
James, put away your kufi. I'll put down the black fist. It's content, not the Real Kings. I know when Jane hit King, man, he all of a sudden gonna go Wakanda forever on our listeners.
All I was over here thinking is, who in the Bat family is Batgirl? Because I know it ain't me.
Oh, there you go.
What's the brother's name? Lucius? No, Lucius is the
Lucius
Junior,
is the dad.
Right? Yeah. Lucius is his dad. Yeah. I'm Fox, whatever his name is.
Well, look, man, I emphasize this again, man. Same content, not that it's changing. You got the same family, the same crew. We're gonna always have our man Rob come on to join us whenever he can, whenever he can get free from his. What is he doing? Like home visits, or what do you call it when you get out?
Iceman about to drop. So all he's doing is just sitting in a cold room, waiting on Drizzy to drop.
But yeah, man, we still here, man. We back, man. I know we missed a lot of content, but just to go around the room for all of our loyal listeners and anybody new.
Did you tell them about the video?
The video, we got video content coming too?
Man, we got video content. We definitely was listening to the fans, and one of the big things and feedback that we always got was that we don't have enough video. So we are, please make sure that y'all find Real Kings podcast, REEL Kings podcast on YouTube. So we're going to have to start adding some video content. So look forward to that.
John got so excited, he's just trying to jump into some real content.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. I can't wait to talk about the content that I was.
But ain't nothing really changed. You still don't like nothing,
right?
Nah, it's something he like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna ask y'all since we've been on our little sabbatical.
Yep.
What have y'all been watching and enjoyed? I mean, I know John ain't enjoyed nothing, but you probably watched some things. So.
Well, Love, you already hopping in the room. Why don't you tell us what you saw, and then we'll go around the room from there.
Yeah, I liked it. It's been a few things I watched over the last couple months that I liked. I always like when Ben Affleck and Matt Damon link up. So I like that movie they did, The Rip. That was good. Also seen Prime for like a sequel. So that could be a little franchise, but I think it was based on a true story, so probably not. If anyone hasn't seen that, check that out. Then, man, I watched an interesting show, sort of like a limited series on Netflix by the Duffer Brothers, who brought us Stranger Things. They had this series called Something Very Bad Is Gonna Happen. And it was cool, man. It kind of felt like the horror genre, but it wasn't like overt horror. It was more like storytelling and suspense. All these interesting characters were really well set up. With the like scares and all of that stuff. It really reminded me of the fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah, it definitely had that Flanagan vibe.
Yeah. I don't know that we've ever been in an era where horror and suspense has been doing this well. So back to back to back to back. Outside of the Halloween time frame.
Define doing well for me, please.
I mean, they're creating
outside of the 80s, like.
Well, I mean, normally you get good stuff around Halloween, but like this stuff is dropping on January, and it still hit just as well as if it was like that season. Yeah. And I by good I mean like good quality, not necessarily sales or anything like that. Hell no, I ain't watching it. I'm here to tell Blumhouse and the Duffer Brothers and all of them to chill the hell out because I need some regular stuff to watch. I'm not watching that mess.
Yeah, I think it's just a combination of one, people still tune in to horror content, and it's relatively cheap to make. You know what I mean? So you can have a successful horror genre where
all you gotta do is kill people.
Easier than doing big explosions and everything else. So I think that the profit margin is a little bit easier to have, like what Jonathan and his cynicism wanted to get into, a quote unquote success. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's relative. If it costs you $5 million to make, but you make $20 million, that's a huge profit in return for your investment,
400%.
As opposed to Endgame, where you have to spend $1 billion to make $1 billion and hope that you make that much.
And unlike John, some people watch stuff to be entertained. And being scared for some people is like a fix that they looking forward to all the time. So I think it's just a cool experience for a lot of people who into that. They always looking for something that might scare them.
I'm actually surprised John didn't check it out, because one, we were talking about it and he was one of the people going back. John been setting a lot of traps lately. He set me up with Arc Raiders and then never played it. And he set me up with this and then never watched it.
You know what's crazy about that game? It is literally Last of Us, and he hasn't played it. Like, it's not the same game. So let me rephrase that. But it is
the
literally
kind of has,
you are fending for yourself. You are literally meeting people, and you don't know if they mean you harm or they gonna be people that's allies. Like,
this is a real apocalypse.
Yeah, it's really like you gotta think about all that stuff.
He's
Last of Us is programmed. This is real people.
But John,
psychological
you
game,
liked,
man.
House of Usher, and what was the first one? It was The Haunting and Bly
Hill House.
Hill House, and Bly Manor was later.
And the vampire joint too, right?
Yeah,
the Preacher, Midnight Mass. Yeah.
All of those was real similar. I'm just surprised you didn't check it out. What was you busy doing all this time? You had to be watching.
Well, I'm glad you asked.
We're gonna jump right to that.
So since we had this long sabbatical, I figured I'd take this opportunity to finally watch Game of Thrones for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I had not watched Game of Thrones. It took me long enough, man. And I wonder, I know my experience was absolutely different binging it versus having to wait week for week with everybody else. But I do now wish I had the opportunity to watch it like everybody else did and had a water cooler conversations about what we thought would happen and what was an original source of writing. And then it gives things time to rest and grow and kind of think about, what happened. And it's a different level of appreciation for things that we don't get today because of the microwave, have it fast, have it your way, get it all 8 episodes right there. So it was definitely, but it helped obviously me get through it through this time period, because it wouldn't have been possible otherwise.
What I will say is I'm jealous of you for that, because one, you were able to find this and in 2026 and enjoy it. You didn't have like that culture vibe where you're going back and forth with people, but you got to binge it. Because
you didn't have to watch out for spoilers either.
Right.
That's true.
And
That's
pros
true.
and cons of the binging, like when they do it season to season, and especially these hiatus, HBO be taking their time with their content.
Right.
So I would literally have to rewatch it because, I've read the books and stuff, but my wife would be like, who's this dude? And why did they come up?
Right.
Because people will pop up from like season 1 and you would have to explain.
Season 4, a year and 3 months after season 3. And you're like, man, I can't remember what happened in season 3. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, but it was great, man. I think it was what everybody said about it, even with, I was taken off guard because, I had seen an episode here or there when, when I had a 30-day subscription to HBO, whatever it might have been. And I kept hearing about the Walkers, but I didn't realize no, season 1, episode 1, you get the Walkers. You see these things. And I'm like, is this going to be too much fantasy lore for me? I don't know. And then they went away from that. And so it was very grounded up until, a point. But by then you're so locked in and you enjoyed, I was so locked in and enjoyed the characters that I could get past the things that I otherwise wouldn't usually had a typical interest in. And I thought it was excellent. Like,
let me ask you this. What took you so long to decide that you wanted to give it a try? Was it Dane's passion for fantasy?
Oh no, don't put me into that, because I put no judgment on anybody waiting to binge a show late, because I've had to do it myself.
At least he knew what it was.
Yeah. I was gonna say Dane took a while to get his homework done, but this is crazy.
I don't even want John. Stop bringing me up, because John's gonna throw me under the bus if y'all keep doing it. I don't want him to bring up one thing.
Yeah, man. Well, the whole journey was interesting because, of course, I didn't have money when HBO, when this first came out. So I would only be able to see HBO, when they give you the little free 30 days and try to hurry up and watch or whatever. And I guess I was just so busy at that time of my life. I kept missing it, like I get it, and
you had a baby,
lose it, and had babies, and missed it. And then I think it got too far away from me that I didn't feel compelled to go back. And like, this was before streaming. So like, if you don't remember HBO before a new season started, they would re-air either the last season or literally everything from the start, but you had to watch it. Like, this is when TV, this is before I had recording devices. So you literally had to turn it on, get locked in, and watch it. That was a different experience.
It wasn't that long ago.
It was. I'm talking about like season
one
and
two.
Man, it wasn't streaming though.
Season 1 and 2, absolutely. But the last 2 seasons, you could definitely DVR them joints. Last 2 or 3 seasons.
Last 2.
If you had that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I had a DVR, because you could have cable and not have DVR.
Y'all remember TiVo? I had TiVo.
No, I never had.
James gonna get that content.
James,
you have a bunch of calls. He gonna get it.
James, you had a plug in the back of your neck. Stop lying.
I got a question for you, John.
Time my VCR and everything.
Are you gonna continue like with your binging to catch up? Are you watching House of the Dragon? Like Night of the Seven Kingdoms? Like,
do that one first, man.
Well, I guess that's the question. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna feel the same way about those things. And
all right. Okay. House of the Dragon is going to feel the closest to what you just watched in Game of Thrones. Night of the Seven Kingdoms
is a better show.
It gives you a better payoff in a quicker way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So this first season, the feeling of the show is different. It has more campiness to it. It's more lighthearted, but the payoff in season 1 feels more immediate than a Game of the Thrones. Season, a Game of the Thrones, a Game of Thrones season.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it seemed like I got, and maybe it's because I read the books, but I felt like I got payoffs faster in the regular Game of Thrones, where House of the Dragon, they kind of like moving slowly, like, hey, we about to have a war.
I don't know, because
stay tuned, because we still in this war.
That's true, but at the same time, the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones wasn't no dragons, wasn't no White Walkers.
But you mean that sort of payoff.
But I mean, like your action, your entertainment.
It had good, like, things happen throughout those seasons, especially their finales that kept you interested.
Khaleesi having sex. That's what happened the first 2 seasons.
Ned losing his head, the red
true.
wedding.
It was always something.
But it was episode 9 of the first 2 seasons.
Battle
it was
of the
always
Bastards, like all that stuff would happen. You know what I mean?
Battle of the
Bastards. Bran, when they pushed him, I was like, oh yeah.
I think the drama was what I was mostly there for. Like, I actually got compelled. I was messaging you all as I was watching it and telling you that I think I probably was more compelled with some characters that I don't know everybody else would have, had the same level of value. Like the one they called a dog. Like, I really liked him so much.
The Hound?
From the Hound, from the very beginning. I like the Hound. I like
John came to the realization he might be a villain. That's what
he really does like all villains and everything, except Bullseye.
But yeah, man, I don't want to bore y'all with it. It was to answer the question. Yes, I didn't think the whole final season was terrible. I thought that just the last 2 episodes went completely astray. Basically,
it just felt rushed.
That's basically what it was.
The CGI didn't seem like it. Just really seemed like
the plot and it wasn't itself. You could see where he was trying. The producers were trying to go, but you knew they took some liberties with the source. I mean, which obviously it wasn't complete, but it was almost as if. Do they know that's where, what is his name?
George
R. was intending to go, or did they just veer away and take their own liberties?
So how the story supposedly goes is he told them where it was going to land. Yeah. And then they took some liberties to get there. Yeah. And apparently after he saw what they did, he supposedly changed his mind. And that's why he hasn't finished it yet. Because he's like, okay, I don't like what happened. So he's supposed to be trying to come up with
they rushed it. They rushed it. It just seemed impractical, basically. The Khaleesi story is what I'm getting to. Like, how her story arc went was just like, I saw some tidbits of maybe they're trying to go there, but it just flew through it too fast. You needed 2 full seasons to flesh that out based on the pace of everything else.
Right.
Yeah, and they didn't give us a good enough explanation of why she went
right
Mad King like
That's
her father.
Right.
It just
But
seemed
we
rushed. Like,
supposed
even
to,
if they were doing it in the books, they would have made sure that they fleshed that out. And the same
right.
thing with the elevation of Bran to King. Like, you know,
That
they
made
give
no
tidbits
sense.
and all that stuff. And in the book, there's a little bit more there.
Well,
so
no.
you can kind of see that's where they might go. But they just,
And the
they
story
were just
didn't make
like,
any
hey,
sense because
here's
he
Bran.
had
He can see
said
the
2
future.
episodes
He's
earlier
King.
that he wanted nothing to do
nothing
with
to do
anything.
with it. Yeah, he was a
So,
3-eyed
I mean,
raven.
nothing.
He doesn't want anything to do with
Exactly.
anything. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so
So
it
they
didn't
didn't
make
do
any
that
sense at all.
development like, you know, they had before. But it was good, man.
Yeah. But hey, man, it's been other content out there. I don't want to bore us with something.
Hey,
from
man, I
a
could talk
decade
Game
ago.
of Thrones all day. But
you know I can.
and I really want to hear the feedback on this because I was surprised to hear from the group that everybody didn't enjoy this joint. War Machine with my boy Alan Richter, who also apparently is Reacher and War Machine in his real life too.
Right.
Just slapping up people on the street that try to harm him and his kids. But I love this joint. Again, not high concept, like overthinking the plot, but it just kind of took me back and was like an amalgamation of so much that I used to like as the 80s. It felt like RoboCop. It felt like Predator. It felt like, you know, one of these military movies like Full Metal Jacket. And then it had like a Schwarzenegger type character in it that, you know, was larger than life and finding ways to survive in very unlikely situations. And then it had that 80s level violence like that we would see in RoboCop and stuff where people would just explode and blow up. I see Jonathan is chomping at the bit, but I'm not letting you in the room to douse this hope and positivity, man.
Lav, go for it. Go for it, Lav.
No, I liked it. I mean, James pretty much summed it up. Like I agree. Like, I think we've gotten to a point with a lot of content where it's like a lot of unnecessary like fluff for whatever reason. Like, I just think it's a lot of socio-political stuff now. Like, you gotta have like all these characters have like this representation, and so you end up seeing that and it just don't fit. And then you gotta have a love interest. It's like this movie didn't worry too much about the formula. It just went back to good guy, bad guy, sort of like action, like end credits. Like, you know, we just gonna get to it. We're gonna show you a little backstory, and even that is just, hey, he loved his brother, and that's it. Like, we ain't gonna worry about a wife, you know. So it was good, like that old entertaining action that you want to watch on a Friday, Saturday night.
Does Alan Richter's ceiling Richardson?
Yeah,
say it again.
Richardson.
Bridgerton. You know, I just go watch Bridgerton.
Right. Does
call him Reacher?
Does Reacher's ceiling as a action hero, is it higher or lower because he's not a wrestler like every other action hero we got right now?
I think because of his aesthetic and his size and all that, he fits that mold anyway, and he already doing it. So I think he's pretty solidified in basically being able to like occupy that space for as long as he does good movies. But he has to reach into some quality stuff, or then you end up being the beekeeper and doing movies like that example for the rest of your life, which is a good career. It's a good career track. You just constantly getting paid steadily.
Well, he might want to get him a Fast and Furious 10.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I've actually been
from the beginning.
I've actually been paying pretty close attention to like just the Hollywood movement. The action star is extinct. The A-list,
they
it's gone. And so if you can find a steady lane for you to keep working, and that's how you make money and feed your family, like that's actually gold right now. Like a lot of actors would love that, to have a franchise or anything like that.
Yeah. And I heard it's getting even harder, man. I read an article. God, man, what's my guy's name? It's something Acevedo. He was in Oz. He was in Fringe. Just a bunch of stuff. You know him if you see him. But he was basically saying that the character actor is going away because with the consolidation of the movie industry, like film, a lot of them are jumping to TV. So like, he's like, man, I'm competing against Oscar winners for, you know, used to be character actor parts that I would get in a second. Now those are disappearing. And then streaming is also consolidating And then, back to what we said before, where they are fixed on an 8-episode format, 10-episode format. So it's not even as many episodes, even if you get one of those series. The Pit's kind of changing that up a little bit. They seem to pump out the episodes and the seasons pretty quickly, where it's a little bit more like network. But I just think Hollywood in general was drying up. So if you can get that lane, and I'm not mad at it.
Or if you could just be friends with James Gunn, he gonna put you
right.
Everything he make.
That's facts. So I guess the one thing I'll bring up that I watched that I'm pretty sure we all watched.
Jonathan, why didn't you like War Machine?
No, I was gonna let it go. Just let it go.
No, I gotta know.
My bad, I forgot.
Just let the room move.
Nah,
I'm trying to keep the positivity, man. The real kings, you know what I'm saying?
James
for that from you.
James got to start the fight.
It was too dumb for me, man. It was just the plot was just dumb, man. It just too unbelievable.
Couldn't check your brain.
No, man, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it.
You never can.
And Reacher is not it for me. Like,
when did it happen to him?
Right, like did he? Because there was a point in his life where he liked Commando and all that stuff. Like, I guess. Like, was it high school where you were like, man, this don't make sense? I need my plot.
That don't happen in puberty.
His balls dropped and his voice got deep and it was like, this is dumb.
I'm a man now.
That's what the writers.
That's
basically what happened with John.
Hey, man, who was it you that sent the video clip of the kids rapping today? Or somebody was telling about the new rappers of 2026, the YNs of 2026.
And they were asking, was that me or was
comedian? Who was that? They were asking.
That was another
these people. Yeah, and he was like, "Don't know him, never heard of him." Like, that's what this lane is to me. It just feels like the equivalence of listening to that music.
But he'll go back and watch Over the Top. The arm wrestling.
That's what's interesting, because I'm like, did you not like the stuff from back in the day?
I loved Commando.
Oh, okay.
But I never felt that way about it. I mean, I hadn't gone back and watched it, honestly, forever. So maybe I'd feel different about Commando. I don't feel that way about Predator. To me, any new listeners, I'm trying to be as consistent with this as possible. It's not about like fantasy or super, power or anything alien fiction. It's about the world in which you set in this film. Everything has to stay grounded within that. Within that film, right? Whatever rules you establish, they need to be consistent. So if you're real humans being chased by an alien futuristic spaceship, you shouldn't be able to outrun this thing. I'm sorry. Like the explosions that he survives, he shouldn't be able to get away with that because he is not superhuman. He's just a human of flesh and bone, just a big guy. That shouldn't be sufficient.
So while we've been off, I don't know why, but it's just been stuck in my head trying to wrap my mind around why we like things the way that we like things, or how differently we like things. Why James and John can be so adverse and I can be so checked out on some stuff. And Love can intellectualize it in a different way. And it dawned on me, we all ask ourselves different questions when we're watching film and shows.
Okay.
John is always asking, how is this possible? How is this feasible? How can this happen in this world? How is this world set up?
He's confirmed that it.
James,
he says it isn't gonna, like, that can't happen.
Right, but once he realizes how the world works, you have to stay within those ground rules, or else it's out for him. James don't care nothing about that. I mean, we all care about all of the questions to a level, but the things that are most important to him are that. James, on the other hand, is like, what are you doing? As long as it's not some love story drama that you're doing, James checked in. That's why James likes everything.
I think James likes storytelling, so whatever the story is,
right?
It's like, okay, that was all right.
Like, oh, what are you doing? Okay, I can get down with that.
Me, like, I'll see plot holes and bad writing,
but you like what they doing.
Just accept, okay,
because you like what they doing
in the writing, but the action was good. Where if the writing isn't good, it's out the window for Jonathan.
And but this is the thing: they set up that he was an elite soldier, he was lapping them other soldiers with endurance and all that, and he was driven by what happened to his brother.
Is he superhuman?
John will see that they set that up in the world he said that they want him to believe in, and still say, "Yeah, but that's not realistic."
But John will be like, John will be like, how does that work in this world?
Exactly.
Like, how is that feasible in this world?
I expect him to become DevGru or Delta Force or whatever, right? Like if he became the best elite soldier within a soldier group fighting regular human beings, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I get it, because he showed that he got great endurance and he can pass the test, the exam. But getting away from this alien robot thing that was chasing him, shooting missiles, and none of them had guns, by the way, Dane. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
No.
None of them had guns. They didn't have bullets in their guns because they were going through a training.
It happened while they were on a training.
They were on a training.
So their guns was like basically.
Yeah. They was probably training for Delta Force.
I would like to see War Machine written by Jonathan. That jump would have been like start credits, boom, everybody's dead, end credits, aliens take over the world.
Nah, John would have did something like make one of the people that's in training be a hothead that snuck real live ammo into somebody's gun, so they actually got some bullets that helped them fight this joint.
Even then, it wouldn't have worked.
He'd have found a plot twist.
Depower the enemy, which you potentially could have done, but it's just not as fun, man.
But then there's stuff like what's the alien movie that just
War of the Worlds?
No.
Well, I like that one.
With White Loft with Ryan Gosling.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary?
Yeah, Project Hail Mary.
I didn't see that.
Which is super based on as much scientific grounding, space knowledge as possible, with some little elements of fantasy. And John will be like, I ain't going to see that crap.
See what happens.
The Artemis is flying to the dark side of the moon with a black pilot, and Jonathan still didn't go to the movies.
And landed back here in Houston somewhere. Right here around the cross.
It's the biggest movie and a big hit. They talk about sequels and everything. John, like, nah.
That's because y'all asked me to watch War Machine first. I can only check my brain so much that the BS meter was full. It was like, I can't take anymore.
And I also think the difference is, for me, like the level of, I like everything, but if it's streaming, I'm a little bit more lenient on it. It's beamed into my television. I can just turn it on. Like it's kind of like going to Blockbuster and just, when we used to rent bad movies and be able to kind of enjoy them. If I went to the movie theater, it'd be a little different.
Y'all never went to Blockbuster with John.
30 minutes trying to find something.
Yeah, we walk down the wall and be like, nope.
And see, me and James would get 4 things.
Me and John will be in that jump for 35 minutes, come out with one movie. We get to the end of the wall, he'll be like, all right, we got to go in the middle aisles.
I could just imagine young Dane and young Jonathan, the cynicism and the pettiness back and forth, trying to decide on one movie to unite y'all. One dude is trying to get like the best man. The other dude is trying to get like Full Metal Jacket or some war movie.
You just named 2 movies that's like 12 years apart when they came out.
Sicario.
But no, James, you just hit the nail on the head with your comment about streaming, and now that's just it. My expectations for streaming are going higher, and I just cut Netflix off. They got 1 more month in this house. They don't know it yet. Maybe they hear this recording and find out, because they just up the cost. I'm not paying more money for junk. I'm just not doing it. I'm cutting it off. Like, and it's got to be something that's really got to be compelling for me to turn the switch back on. And
I did just finish that Spartacus on Netflix, though.
Huh?
I said I did just binge that Spartacus on Netflix, though.
Well, you let me know if it's worth it, because I got 30 more days.
You'll hate it. But that's my genre.
Right.
So,
that sword wasn't sharp enough.
Something bad's about to happen that probably would be, worth it. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know what you expect from some of these streaming. And every once in a while they give us something high quality. It's hit or miss, especially with Netflix. I think that HBO and Apple TV are probably the better streaming that kind of give you like, high concept, well-written stuff, not just like popcorn movies.
I think you misspoke. I heard you say HBO in the same sentence with Apple TV.
Ooh, look at Dane. Dane got real low with HBO. That's because Dane don't watch The Pit. If Dane watched The Pit, he'd feel different.
I mean, y'all know I was watching Apple TV. Yeah. However, the thing that I would probably call out is Wonder Man.
Yeah.
which
shout outs to Mateen.
Which it was a show that
Mantis.
I think all hey, that man is getting a lot of comic roles, bro. He in every universe right now.
Yes, he is, man.
But all of us were sort of looking forward to that show to see what they did with it. And I don't know that I've ever watched a show that has such compelling and good acting, but was still so disappointing to me with what they did with the show. Like, I so wanted Wonder Man to be a hero and be the Wonder Man that I read in comic books, and I got none of that. And then I'm watching it and I'm disappointed, but I'm like, dang, this acting is so damn good. It's Ben Kingsley and Yahya Mateen bouncing off of each other, doing great portrayals of their characters.
And I think it was well written too.
It was. It just wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
Which is funny because why do they think we want to watch superhero shows that don't like effectively like highlight superheroes, superpowers,
or I'll take
because you can do both. You can have a thought out, in depth show with that too, but they almost seem like they just think it's one or the other.
So I took it as, you remember when all of the MCU movies really started taking flight, even back to Iron Man and everything that came after that. We would make a point to call out the fact that we were like, oh, this is that genre of movie, and this is a different genre of movie. I feel like they wanted to do that with shows, and I think this is a part of that. And they don't know how to make this particular genre of show into a real superhero show.
Just add a couple fight scenes, and
that's all you need.
But I mean,
just think broke a kitchen counter
because you see it. They think that they know better because they will take a property, and it don't got to be superheroes, but it's like they ignore the source material and the fan base and say that's dumb. We know better. We're gonna do this. Even I'm excited about it, but Zach Krieger, he's doing Resident Evil, but then he's like, it's not really based on the video games at all. Then just have Zach Krieger do a zombie movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what he does. Like, why do you have to, again, because Hollywood wants that branding, but they don't trust the core audience enough to embrace the product because they're so worried about bringing in, which Marvel didn't seem to be that concerned. When Marvel started with Iron Man, they were more concerned with the core comic book fan base, and that's who they were kind of looking for, and that's what got them to be successful.
They also were using a character that wasn't highly popular in the comics, so they were like, it doesn't make a difference.
But the fact that they chose to go with that, initially, and even Spider-Man and stuff, it seemed like the Raimi Spider-Man, like they were a little bit more like Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm not saying that the new Spider-Man men movies aren't like, so I'm not comparing Spider-Man to Spider-Man, but I'm just saying in general, like even Eternals, like what was that? And again, I don't know too many people that are fans
anything
of that,
like the comics.
But it's just, so I just don't know what they're doing to a certain extent. I know we're going to get to it.
I think John was kind of getting ready to speak to the fact that like brand recognition does come with a like sort of built-in audience, and it sort of helps to say we're at least going to start with a surplus of attention or viewers, right? The problem is you just keep disappointing them when you decide to not give them what they should expect.
But that's what I'm saying.
Don't show me Wonder Man's eyes glowing and stuff in the trailer. Like, don't sell me.
They trick us,
like don't sell me that, because that's almost like you know what you're doing.
And even the way it ended, like the way that show ended, season 2 needs to be an action show.
Right. Yes. But that's what I'm saying. At least it gave you a little bit of sprinkle of action at the end. But I just think it's weird because I understand the necessity for brand recognition versus and I actually would prefer original content, but if you're going to do brand recognition, I kind of want you to at least have that brand. That's like telling me I'm gonna get a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and then you give me a hamburger and I'm like, man, I came to Chick-fil-A for this. That's why I'm here. Like,
but then
y'all don't sell pizza.
But then I would even argue, like, why not just close the loop? Okay, you got a built-in audience. We're gonna show up for whatever. If you deliver a good quality product that we expected, I'll be back for the next one.
Right.
You just isolating me and make me distrust you even more now, and you become, like Doc.
I don't know that they're gonna have a second season.
They already
So I read
greenlit it.
somewhere that that was one of the tail end throwaways, and that they had already started so much production with it that they went on and finished it up. But I don't think they have any intentions on finishing up Wonder Man.
No, but
Wonder
then
Man was kind of like introduced after that, and then it just got produced.
No,
Didn't
I think.
I thought they
from a
announced
timing
it
perspective, they
season 2.
already had it slated as one of the shows that they were going to make.
No,
the only thing successful with that was Doorman. That Doorman episode was the only highly touted episode of all.
I like the
show
in general. I just have the same criticism that Dane has, where that's not what I want to be watching. But you did give me a show that was, I'll honestly say, objectively, that was a good show about acting.
Yes,
like the acting. The lifestyle of someone who really wants it that bad.
Right.
Like if you said that that's a show you're making, cool, that would be a good show. And I agree with you. That Doorman episode was actually excellent. But even that episode, it was a lot of superhero context happening. It was almost like an episode of Atlanta with a superhero in it.
Yeah,
the
rest of the joint didn't do that for Wonder Man, and that's the
what I
person
thought.
that we wanted to
greenlit
watch.
season 2 already.
Yeah, they greenlit it according to Marvel and Hollywood Reporter.
And didn't they have that little after credits joint like Wonder Man will be
in Avengers?
I thought probably maybe everybody gonna be in Doomsday. Speaking of Avengers Doomsday, have anybody seen or listened to what the trailer is about?
No,
I've ignored it too. It's just kind of petty. I'm shocked they haven't released it. You know what I mean? Like everywhere. Like why would they allow people to give their opinion or impression of it?
It's an interesting marketing tool. They've never done that before. So that's an interesting way to market it. Get the voices that you trust to talk
when they used to do sort of Hall H stuff, it would like drop in like few days after that, right?
Yeah.
You would get about
the same night.
It definitely wasn't the same night. You would definitely get a few days where there would be found footage leaked, and then Marvel will pull it off the internet and stuff like that. So sometimes up to a week. So it may be one of those things.
Make sure they're waiting for the NBA finals
just
to start.
So far away that they're
the NBA finals ain't till June.
I'm sorry. The
playoffs going on right now.
Far away.
Yeah, let's
Avengers?
go Knicks. Yeah, it's at the end of the year, so I think they're trying to maximize, because if they drop the trailer, the energy and zeitgeist and all that kind of disappears the moment it drops.
It's going,
you know what I mean?
It's going to be whatever
they're building that. If they can get a couple weeks,
whatever the May blockbuster is, it'll have a trailer probably in the movies.
Got it.
It's just surprising because Dune put theirs out. You know what I mean? So everybody's like, "Well, Dune did it. Like, where's?" But
they fight. They trying to fight for who gonna get that week.
Did you also see that they put what did they call it? Infinity Vision or Intellivision? I think it's Infinity.
It's Infinity Vision. Yeah,
where they have their own, IMAX competitor that they're going to launch for this. So on these screens. Now, my only concern is it's going to be a lot of movie theaters that say they're Infinity Vision, and it's just like in name only, where you know, people have the IMAX stuff already built in. So, but what else we got, man?
I'm waiting for us to have a conversation about the Viltrumites, but I guess we got to wait until next week's episode.
Yeah, man, we'll say that.
I thought that's what everybody was waiting for, but that's a moment, though.
That's what you're waiting
That's a moment.
Oh, you want to talk about the Grand Regent?
The Grand Regent, yeah. I mean that's a moment. We're gonna try to pull back to the Grand Regent when.
Well, we gonna review the whole show when we get back.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and it's just the next one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that was your penultimate.
That was probably the best comic booky thing that I've watched since we've been on break. Has been this year, Invincible. I can tell you now before we got on here.
You're supposed to say if you establish this world, then you gotta stick to it. We've been Invincible, showing all kind of loot. Like
Dave is contained by this level of petty. He couldn't even contain himself.
The power is very inconsistent in Invincible.
I love the petty,
tear
bro.
Invincible up. Tell us how you hate it, how it's trash. I don't care. I don't want to hear nothing about no Grand Regent. Tell us how it's just horrible.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's animation. I let a lot go with animation.
Oh,
I'll tell you what is trash.
Out of his streaming, out of his action.
I was half asleep before we got on here trying to watch that last episode of The Boys, because boy, oh boy, they are really just.
I ain't started.
I ain't watched the first episode yet.
I watched Invincible twice, man. Tell y'all the truth.
Right. It's bad. It's bad. The writing has gotten really bad.
I haven't watched the episode of The Boys. I stopped at episode 3 of Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil, man, has been disappointing. But
hasn't now, James?
I like the. Yeah, we knew that. But I do like the action. The writing is not.
I thought it was like a whole episode of non-action that you just mentioned about.
What's that? The last one. But up until then, they were doing a decent job where they were at least giving you a couple fights per episode. Where this one, it was just a bunch of talking, and I think that Love had a good point when we were talking in the chat when he was saying that. I think Daredevil takes itself too serious and it thinks that it's this super high concept, deep thought, when it's really just Kingpin saying Vanessa over and over again and shit. Vanessa. Matt Murdock fighting and breathing all hard after.
Too much, man.
Just do one or the other. Like you can't and again, it's street level, so just do the fights, like make it action packed, like this whole deep crime world
with his soft talking whisper every episode. I swear it puts me to sleep. I don't know what he thinks.
It's like, what's it?
It's almost like he got his version of Dark Knight voice. You never listen to that?
Yeah, he does.
Listen to Matt Murdock now when he's in his Daredevil uniform. He whispers every conversation he has. It's so annoying. It is just so bad. The writing is bad. I compare that to, I think they were trying to do with this show what HBO did with the Penguin so well, and I'm like, y'all are just failing, and I don't know why this is getting such high ratings. I don't know where people are today. I don't know what they're enjoying about it. I'm tired of the whole social commentary. It's so overdone and overkill. I'm like, come on, y'all, please, man. Yeah, and The Boys is worse.
Mind. It's just weird plot holes. Like the whole BB's report is boring.
Yeah, that's weird.
Refocusing on Fisk and Vanessa over and over and over again. Hey, guess what? Let's do a flashback with Foggy. And again, I know that these are things that you pull from the comics.
Flashbacking to the first, like the original, the OG seasons from that. Yeah. Literally, it was like 20 minutes of OG content looped into. I fell asleep and kept waking up.
These are characters that from the comic books people enjoy and they like, but just sprinkle that in with action. You literally got Deadpool and Bullseye teaming up. Like, let them fight the ICE agents or whatever they call the task force guys, man.
I would have definitely went. You remember the first Equalizer? The premise behind Equalizer is like
just let him. I would have just did that in Hell's Kitchen,
and I would have really followed the format of New York Undercover. It's a bad guy of the week, and our good guys are investigating something going on in the city. They obviously want to make it real New York authentic, so you can do that. And then either Murdoch is either catching some villain, and it don't have to be super villains. It could just be bad guys in the city of Hell's Kitchen or whatever.
Right.
And you can have him prosecuting certain people or defending other superheroes.
I don't even mind Kingpin being that person in the shadows, but like at least in the comic books, he would hire Bullseye. He would hire like different people would try to come in and fight, and that's the perfect concept. Like I know that it's kind of falling off, especially with the movie coming out, but Mandalorian did that well. Right. Gave you your episode where it was kind of a one-off, but kept the progression going where, it had an overarching villain that it would come back to, but it was kind of like the adventure of the week. And that's what Daredevil needs, man. It doesn't have to be so well thought out and deep. You know what I mean? Like,
am I the only one that can't stop hearing the New York Undercover theme in his head now?
Listen to the theme song.
I was gonna say all they need is Spike Lee to produce this joint and direct it, and this would be all right.
50 Cent could do it with the power universe. That'd be perfect.
So what's up, James? What else we got, man? Anything else we missed? Anything else we're preparing for as we go through the 2026? Anything to look forward to for the fans?
Oh man, it's a bunch of stuff coming 2026. Like, of course, we talked about Endgame. We still got to review the Darth Maul. I don't know if y'all are watching that. That dropped on Disney, which is pretty good. Again, it's a cartoon, Jonathan, so you'll probably be a little more lenient.
It's the best two things out right now, animated.
Yeah, we got
Invincible and Darth Maul.
Disclosure Day. You got your shirt on, so you ready for Supergirl? The Odyssey, we ain't talk about that. Street Fighter, some of those trailers, man. Hate it or love it, there's still some discussion. Oh, that was like, you see what I did there? Hate it or love it, 50 Cent, Balrog, Street Fighter.
Yeah. All right, wrap this up, bro.
We wrap this up. Well, hey, man, I don't have no outro yet. We got to come up with a new outro since we changed the names, man.
Man, we know we've been gone for a minute. We hope y'all still rocking with us. We hope the listeners is just excited about what we got in store for y'all coming forward, man. So just lock in, subscribe, make sure you know what I mean. Look forward to us being more consistent at this point. Now that we got our rebrand done. So.
Hey, and anytime y'all see me do this in the camera, just know it's about to be over. I'm about to end everything and everybody.
No, man.
All right, y'all, man.
All right, man. We love y'all. Peace.